Today we're looking at word problems, subtraction within 1,000. And this is problem number 1. It's taken from the student practice pages for Unit 1, Lesson 6. And it may or may not be one of the problems that you have assigned. You might say, oh, Ms. Sherman, why are you doing this problem? Why aren't you doing the ones that were assigned? Well, there's a couple reasons. One, I don't know what problems your teachers are going to assign, but the bigger thing is that I want you to learn how to solve the problems. It doesn't matter which problem I'm choosing to do. I want you to work through the problems, and I want you to use what you learned from this problem, and you can apply it to another problem. We're using the same principles, the same steps, and that's what's important. I want you to be able to take what you learn, take what you know after doing this problem, and apply it to a different problem. An art museum in New York had 455 works of art on display. And that could be statues, it could be paintings. An art museum could have all kinds of exhibits. A museum in Los Angeles had 265 works of art on display. How many more works of art does the New York Museum have than the museum in Los Angeles? Okay, so we have two museums. We have a museum in New York, so I'm just going to put NY for New York. That museum has 455 works of art on display. The museum in Los Angeles, I'm just going to put LA for Los Angeles, had 265 works of art on display. How many more works of art does the New York Museum have than the museum in Los Angeles? So we know this much. We know New York has 455. We know Los Angeles has 265. The question is, how many more? How many more? How many more? That's a comparison. It's not asking how many altogether. It's saying, okay, one museum has this amount, one museum has this amount. How many more? What's the difference? How many more does the New York Museum have than the Los Angeles Museum? That would be a subtraction problem, and just by chance, it's already set up. My numbers are already on top of each other. I've got the New York on top, I've got the Los Angeles on the bottom. We can just jump in and start subtracting. 5 minus 5, 0. Now we want to do 5 minus 6. It's not 1. We can't just say, oh, the 6 is bigger, let's subtract 5. No, we just can't do that. That does not work with math. But what we can do is, because there are hundreds over here, we can regroup. We can take one of those hundreds, and the term, we used to call it borrowing, and that's a little misleading. Regrouping is the new term, because we are going to change how our numbers are grouped together. So instead of having 4 hundreds, we'll have 3 hundreds, and instead of having 5 tens here, we'll have 15 tens. And we can now do our subtraction. Our value is the same. 3 hundreds plus 15 tens plus 5 ones is still 455. We have not done any magic with our numbers. We've just changed how we're grouping them together. So 15 minus 6. If you know your subtraction facts, you can probably figure it out right away. You can also look at a number line. I like to take the bottom number, the 6, and count up to 15. It's easier for me to count forwards than backwards, so I'll show you how I do it. I put 6 in my head, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I look at how many fingers I have. I have 9 fingers. 15 minus 6 is 9. and 3 minus 2 is 1. How many more works of art does the New York Museum have than the museum in Los Angeles? They have 190 more. And there you have it. We're done. I hope this helps.